Running a business can be like wearing 12 hats at once. And yes, as business owners, we need to do it. It can also be like answering emails at red lights. Please don't. We don't want you doing that. And it can be just doing that final check of social media at 10:30 at night. But in amongst all of that noise, in amongst the busyness, we can lose the creativity. And none of us got into business to be mechanical, robotic robots that are busy and lose creativity. So how, as business owners, do we make time? Do we get creativeness within our business? I'm Linda Reed-Enever. I'm an ideas and marketing strategist, and I am a creative person by nature. The last thing I want to do is get bogged down in a business of busyness and not creativity. And I can tell you that when I am bogged down in busyness, that's when I burn out. So let's look at how we can mix in creative and business together. Creativity can quite often be seen as, creating visuals, art, painting, doing all of those sorts of things. But creativity when it comes to business isn't just that. It isn't just creating social media posts, making videos, doing voiceovers. Creativity comes to different ways of thinking. So we've done this. How about we try that? It's brainstorming. It's doing all of those sorts of things. Sometimes as business owners, we forget that we are actually being creative in different ways that we think things. So first of all, we need to shift our mindset. Creativity isn't just the visual creation. It is also the mental, the creation of the space, and all of those things that we do. And if we've got creative thinking and critical thinking involved, we're also being creative inside that space. So our shift is not everything creative needs to be visual. Non-visual creativity shows up in things like product development. It shows up in meetings. It shows up in things like planning, and also shows up in things like forecasting. So I know I was just talking about wearing those 12 hats within business, but these are the moments where creativity kicks in, and creativity should never be taking a back seat. Now we want to do all the fancy, visual creativity as well. But this strategic thinking, this creative thinking needs to have a seat at our boardroom, okay? It can't be in the back seat. It can't be in the back closet, and it cannot be shelved, because as humans, we are creative people. So we want to tap into this superpower of creativity. I don't know about you, but if you're anything like me, if it's not in your calendar, it doesn't happen, okay? We can get so busy that we need to make sure that we are scheduling our time for creativity. One of the ways that I do that is the visual creativity like this, where we're doing content batching, we're recording, we're making time for being creative. The other things that you can do is making sure that you make time to ask yourself or your team the what if questions. What if we tried this? What if we tried that? What's not working? How can we make things work in a different way? Allow yourself time to sketch out, write out ideas, doodle, and in fact, try and include that within your day. Even if it's just, what if I did this for 5 minutes? I'm going to write out ideas and do all that sort of stuff. I'm going to doodle out ideas, because that taps into a different section of your brain. And by doing that, you might just come across the next best solution for your business, or solve a problem that you didn't know you have, or improve something because you've tapped into creative thinking. So make sure that you do the non-creative thing, but make time for creativity in your calendar by blocking it out, and block out multiple times throughout the week, the month, and the year. One of the things when I need to get creative or I need to think about something different is I will get out of my normal office environment. I will change my environment, especially if I'm stuck and I need to get the creative juices flowing. And once again, being a creative agency is always fun. We need to make sure that we are creative. I will get out and change location. So currently, while recording these videos, I'm in a different location. I'm not in the office. I am recording in a hotel while I'm out there doing something different, because I needed to focus on getting this done. Quite often, if I need to plan, I will get to a different location and I will book some time away. And I have later on this year actually booked some time for planning, where I'll take the big sheets of paper with me, I'll take the post-it notes, and we'll make sure that we plan the content out. So a change in environment is quite often that spark that we need to reignite the creativity, to get the creativity back. So go for a walk. Sometimes you might want to walk and talk with friends. I know that sparks my creativity. Or sometimes we just get together as a team and we do something a little bit different. Or we maybe even, just go bowling or do something to spitfire ideas. Changing your environment is super powerful for reigniting that creativity and getting yourself out there. And I don't know about you, but if I'm in a hotel or I'm in a coffee shop or anything like that, I'm a hell of a lot more productive, because I'm sitting in someone's time zone and I want to make sure that I make the most of it, as well as being creative. Creativity doesn't always follow the rules of productivity. So we want to make sure that we allow ourselves time to be creative. As business owners, we can be very outcome driven. What are we going with this? Must be productive. What is the outcome of it? Creativity doesn't always follow the rules of productivity. Now, as business owners, we are so focused on making sure that we're spending our time in the right areas, we're getting the right outcomes, we're doing this and we're doing that. And while that is important, it is equally important to allow ourselves time to be what we might see as unproductive, to be creative, to open up new areas, to also then allow us to come back and be more productive because we've got into that creative space. It's a big thing in business that business owners feel like I must be doing something that produces an outcome. But creative thinking, going into that creative brain space, the doodling, the planning, the looking at those strategies is equally important, because quite often it's when we go into that creative space that we have that light bulb moment that's going to allow us to move forward. So while it might seem unproductive, creativity, non-productive time actually means we're more productive when we come back. So the secret to keeping the balance right for me and for many other business owners is about building creativity in our day. It's about building a habit. Now, while we can have creative things like the content marketing retreats, and we can have moments where we get away and creatively think and plan, being able to build creativity in our day not only feeds the need for creativity we have as humans, but it also makes it a habit and means that we are looking things at an analytical and productive way, but also a creative way. So some of the ways you can do that are things like including little habits. Start the day with a curiosity question. What could we do today that we've never tried before? Or what's a different way we could do things today? Keeping a running list of random ideas, even the silly ones, having an ideas notebook, as I like to have it, means that we can file it away. It means that we're not forgetting about that idea, but we can write it down for a minute and then move on to it. And then come back to it when we need ideas, because those random ideas quite often are gold. They just need a little bit of analytical time, but spend that 5 minutes of creative time writing out that random idea and giving it a place so that it doesn't keep running around in your head and distracting you from everything else you need to do. Have thinking meetings with your team. I cannot stress this enough. I have thinking and discussion meetings with my team, and it is amazing what we can come up with. Those thinking meetings tap into a new world. Nothing's off the table. You've got an idea, you bring it up, and we're just going to think about it for a little while and go, can we implement it? How's it going to work? It's seen us become more productive. I do it with my clients as well. We're just going to have a think about this for a little bit of a moment. What if we did this? What if we did that? Have a discussion. Think and brainstorm. It could be the next best solution, but it also means that the team feels involved, they feel valued. You don't have to action anything, but have no agenda. Have a thinking time and have a thinking meeting with your team. It is an amazing way to do things. Or if you've got a weekly meeting, include it. Okay, so what else have we got? This is our brainstorming time now, guys. What do we need to come up with? What can we say along the way? Use that time. Another great way we can tap into the world of creativity is following people in completely different industries and look at what they're doing and seeing how we can put the spin on it in our industry. By following other people in other industries, you get to see things in a different light, and it's a really handy way of including creativity in your daily habits, but also stepping out of the mindset and the mind zone of your business and your industry. Creativity is like a muscle. The more you use it, the more you tap into it, the more stronger it gets. And then it is even easier to tap into when time is tight and you need to bring some creativity to the table. Running a business can be busy, but creativity is not the thing that slows us down. It is the thing that can make things better. It allows us to look at things in a different way. So make sure that you are mixing in the creative with your business. It is one of the things that I love to see our members do in the Ideas, Impact and Marketing Circle. Mixing in the creative with their story, with their business, with their day-to-day lives. Making sure that they get to have fun along the way. Because in the end, we got into business to have fun and not be juggling that 12 hats and getting to busy overwhelm. Allow creativity to come into your business in different ways, in visual ways, in thinking ways, in planning ways, in engaging ways, and even just a little bit of laughter. Until next time, I'm Linda Reed-Enever. I'm an ideas and marketing strategist, and I help you create impact by teaching you what I do. Get out there, have some creativity, and if there's one tip I can give you today, get out there and have a thinking meeting. It is one of the best things you can do.